Everybody all right? General. Remember the old general? Press 7 y'all remember the old general. He used to attack the Moors. He used to attack anybody he can. Y'all remember the old general? Anybody? Anybody remember the old general? Where is the old general, man? The old general now, he just, I think he lost his way, man. He still, see, if you just know the new general, you think he hasn't changed. No, it's not like the old general. He attacked Moors. He attacked anybody. I think what happened when he got with young Pharaoh. Now it's not like the old city. My father used to love the old city, and he was attacking Moors. He made a video. He had Noble Drew Ali. They did a lecture. It was all out of order and everything. They did a lecture. And they had Noble Drew Ali in the casket. I said, goodness gracious. They said the Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America came from the Ku Klux Klan. I said, good night. Where that research come from? They said because the Ku Klux Klan got the Chloron and the Moorish Science Temple of America got the Quran. I said, goodness gracious. Where they get that research from? Yes, they was going hard, boy. Miss Betty Teachers, I'm glad that you are in here. We have an educator in here. We have intelligent people in here. We have people that have traveled. We have people that have been seasoned with the maximums of truth and knowledge and family. In this presentation tonight, it will not disappoint. Listen, family, it will not disappoint. I want you to know that I want reparations just like you. You understand what I'm saying? Listen to this. I want to make sure that everybody is with me. So when I say press 7, please press 7 to let me know that you at least understand. Not that you actually agree, but if you agree, that's good too. Nevertheless, family, me being one that is descendants of foreparents that work for free and didn't get a chance to pass down the wealth to me if they would have. I don't know if they would have. I want my ancestral work money. You understand what I'm saying? Press 7 if you would like your ancestral work money. I want mine. Now, with that being said, whenever you prepare for a fight, you just don't stay up all night drinking 40s. People still drink 40s. Smoking weed. You don't stay up all night eating chips, mashed potatoes. You don't do all that. You actually go into the gym and you prepare yourself not for 1 round, not for 2 rounds, not 3, 4, 5, 6. You prepare yourself to go the distance. My argument about reparations that's being perpetrated by the perpetrators is that they are not in a real fight for reparations. They are perpetrating. That's my opinion. This is my opinion. I am of the thought that they are perpetrating a fraud. And the fraud is to convince the public that they are sincerely fighting for reparations. I'm saying that they're not. And in this presentation tonight, I'm going to show you from my perspective, that there cannot be a fight for reparations for one who have not been in the gym and qualified themselves to fight the fight. I don't believe none of them been in the gym. I believe many of them are talking emotional triggering points. Look what they did to black people. Look what they did to Americans, Africans descendant of slaves. Look what they did to foundational black Americans. I'm delineating. The Mexicans are taking my corn. The Africans are taking my couscous. And everybody is taking from me, and I help build this country. Now, I don't mean to be facetious. They probably say I sound like right-wingers or something. But family, I've only come to give you the logical truth that you can cry all you want. That doesn't change anything. That you can put up emotional heartstring arguments. That will not get you anything. You can go on the internet and do show after show and talk about how much your ancestors built something. You can go on the internet time and time again and say that you want lineage reparations. Family, I want you to pay attention to this word because that is the trick bag. Again, when I say press 7, make sure that you hear me. Lineage reparations. Anybody ever heard that before? We want reparations based on lineage. You ever heard that? That is the trick bag. I figured it out today. I talked to, let me get into my African-centered thought. You know what I'm saying? Let me send this to a few people real quick. Let me get into my African-centered thought. Family, that is the trick bag. When they start talking lineage reparations, and you notice that's pretty much a new term. At one time, they were just saying, we want reparations, we want reparations. And then they begin to push lineage-based reparations. Do you know what that means? Are we really listening? Let me pass this. I'm going to give this to the doc. I need to send this to the doc real quick. Because I want the doc. I love great intellectuals to hear what my humble self got to say. Now, I want to share this with you also, fam. Listen. When I start doing things like this, I want you to know this. Now listen, you don't have to, but I'm telling you, if you are able to support, family, I might need help with legal stuff. I may need help with future. I got legal stuff going on now, and I got some help to this level where I'm at. You know what I mean? I don't speak on it much. You know what I mean? But if you are able to support, family, go ahead and support, because I'm gonna tell you, this is not your average podcast. Family, I'm striking nerves. People are upset because I'm exposing something that they thought that they was going to pull the wool over people's eyes. And that's why I face legal stuff right now. I mean, I just right as we speak. You know what I mean? And those who have supported, you know who you are. I appreciate you. I am so grateful for you. And those who will support in the future, know for sure, family, that it's not being thrown to the wayside for anything. Because I'm going to tell you, this is a serious, let's call it a conspiracy that is happening. But the exposing of it is going to ruffle some feathers. So family, let's start it off right here. So I say reparations in this era of time is a hoax. Then the reason why I say that it's a hoax, because there is not one person that is caping for Trump. Again, I'm not for Trump or Biden, but there's not one person that's caping for Trump can produce anything, can produce anything that says Trump support reparations. And of all the people that Trump is bringing out to support him, whether it be Mexican, whether it be rappers, whether it be, Sexy Red, whoever, whether it be, I think he has Amber Rose, what's their name, the GNC or whatever they are. They got Amber Rose speaking. You know what I'm saying? They doing it. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Amber Rose going to be speaking. Let me see. At the Republican convention. Oh, there it is. At the Republican convention. This is Amber Rose. Now let me show you something, family. This is how, and this it should be disrespectful for real. It should be disrespectful because they tell us in their own way that this is how cheap we get paid for votes and support. You know what I mean? We sell ourselves. I'm not gonna say you and I, but we sell ourselves real cheap. You know what I'm saying? When you got someone that is borderline on the selling themselves, and one who is right on the edge of will do anything for $1, put before the public in hopes of gaining support and to say, look, one of us is up there. That's when it reaches an all-time low. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm not telling people who to vote for. I wouldn't care. You know what I mean? Snoop Dogg, I believe Snoop, and I'm going to keep it a buck. I believe Snoop, he in the bed with the devil. He always been in the bed with the devil. If you look at how he looked at Tupac when Tupac was on the brink of getting his life taken, it says everything. And I follow this stuff very closely. But when you look at people like Wack, and I see Black Warrior Spirit said 50 Cent and Charleston, listen, these people are pretty much, everyone on that list have become wealthy through propaganda, through drama, through this thing called the internet. And Trump has a big budget to bring these quote unquote black celebrities in to convince the regular everyday brother or sister that they need their vote. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that the way we sell ourselves cheap, you don't see them bringing any no high esteemed doctors. You don't see them bringing in no high level attorneys. You don't see them bringing in. They bring in rappers. They bring in commentators. They bring in strippers. They bring in things like that. And that's name some European support that they bring on that's bottom barrel. They might got one or two, but they not many. But this is what they feel that will attract us. You understand what I'm saying? And just because, listen, I remember growing up listening to My Adidas by Run DMC. I thought that Run DMC actually loved Adidas. When I got older, I would find out that Run DMC had the first endorsement deal for the song and wearing the shoes. And it was $1 million endorsement deal. But when I was young, I thought that they really, really admired the fashion statement that could be made with Adidas. You understand what I'm saying? In the age of social media, it's the same exact thing. You thinking that people are responding to these political figures on their own accord when in fact they are being endorsed. I mean, I like what Jamal Davis says. It's 2024. Everybody by now should know that neither side is going to do anything for us. Point blank. Period. Exactly. So with that being said, thank you for that, Jamal Davis. With that being said, it's just sad how they believe that the quote unquote African American can only respond to entertainers. So you bring a Kanye West in the White House. So you bring a Sexy Red in the White House. So you bring a Amber Rose at the national convention. And so you get all of these people, Judge Joe Brown, you know what I mean? All of these celebrities driven people to make it seem like it's organically achieved that that they are supporting a Trump, when in fact Trump got a major budget to snag up quote unquote African American support. You understand what I'm saying? And we have to be aware of this, because if you're not aware of it in the TikTok age, you think you're being entertained by a TikTok when in fact you actually being groomed into a direction. You know what I'm saying? You actually think you're being, remember the video with the sister? She was arguing with her child's father that he bought McDonald's for one of the children, or one of his biological children, but the other children he refused to buy McDonald's. First of all, we as cheap as McDonald's and as poisonous as McDonald's is, they made this thing go viral. That's number one. Then it goes viral with the argument and the back and forth, and she's saying that he should be buying all the children McDonald's. Now, first of all, how low level can we be in 2024 to be in a goofy argument like that? I got to call a spade a spade. But when I do the research, I find out that the girl was a paid TikToker. Anybody remember that? When she argued with the baby father, she was endorsing, it was a paid commercial. So they even took the most murky of situations among us and use it as a selling point for a commercial, because they know we are drawn in. A lot of us are drawn in by toxic situations, and it goes viral. We look at the fighting of the chicken sandwich at Popeyes, another orchestrated event. Then it grows like wildfire, another orchestrated event. These are new age commercials. You understand what I'm saying? The TikTok era produces a new age commercial. You think somebody fighting over chicken, but what they're doing is they are drawing your attention to the chicken sandwich that is that good to fight over. And not only is it that good to fight over, that this toxic situation is going to hold your attention until we imprint it on your soul, or imprint it on your subconscious. But this, as Miss Betty Teacher says, these are paid influencers. You understand what I'm saying? And it doesn't change when it get into the election season with a Trump. It does not change. It does not change. This is why you're going to see right midsummer, you're going to see it's going to be amped up. It's going to be amped up. You're going to see new video footage or new streams from Black Power groups that have disappeared. You're going to see new influxes of ADOS talking delineation. You're going to see FBAs attacking those of African descent. You're going to see them not only attacking them, they're going to attack everything brown and above to black. But they would never attack any immigrants that are lighter than the lightest of quote unquote African Americans. Anybody ever notice that? They only attack those that look like them. But you're going to see a lot of that during this election season. And you're going to see some stuff that you probably haven't seen before, but you got to pay attention, because it's going to look normal. It's going to look, the toxic is going to look normal. You understand what I'm saying? The toxic is going to look normal. That's how they sell a thing this time. I mean, with that being said, at the end of the day. Jamal say he used to like bro until, but the documentary, listen. Let me tell you something. No. They go in on brown Latinos. They don't go in on the pale light Latinos. I haven't seen that yet. But to my point. Listen. The grifter cannot grift you without a product. First of all, a grifter has to have some sort of product to draw you in, to make it seem like it's legitimate. I don't care if it's a documentary. I don't care if it's something that will appeal to you. Listen, the guy that, the informant that would take the life of the Black Panther brother in Philadelphia, his name will come to me in a minute. He says that the FBI and the CIA know more about your history than you. He say they study every element of quote unquote black culture. They familiarize themselves with it so well that they would tell you stuff that's legitimately historically accurate that you didn't even know. And so, to produce a documentary with flawed information but some good information, that's how it's supposed to work. Listen, it's only two things in all the world. The one is truth, the other is falsehood. So if one teaching a little bit of truth in order to drown you in falsehood, that's what they'll do. But now let's get to the show. Family. There will be no reparations anytime soon. And I know, my bad, and I know people going to be mad at me for saying this. But it's the fact of the matter, fam. There will be no reparations anytime soon. And anybody that claimed that they're fighting for reparations, I'm going to tell you right now, they're just acting like they're fighting for reparations. It's becoming a pastime. It's becoming something to do and make a little bit money on the side. I mean, you feel me? He said Galveston, Illinois got reparations. Let's look that up real quick because he said I didn't say that. Man, I'll be busy. Galveston, Illinois reparations. Let me see what he's talking about. In 2021, in March 21, the first local reparation program passed, so-called restorative housing program, helping to redress the harms of pattern housing discrimination and segregation in 1969. Hold up. Okay, recipients who are direct descendants who live in Galveston are eligible. We're going to talk about that tonight. That's right on the line what I'm going to be talking about. We're going to talk about that tonight. This is why I say, listen. This is why I say this show is so important. Because actually, I'm going to be talking about, and I just sped read that, but I seen something that's on the line of what I'm talking about tonight. All right? So, family, listen. One thing for sure and two things for certain. I said that the catchword or the trick bag is lineage-based reparations. Did y'all hear what I say? And somebody created that, and it wasn't us. Lineage-based reparations. Press 7 if you hear what I said. When you hear people saying that, have y'all heard that before? First of all, have y'all heard that before? Lineage-based reparations. Huh? Anybody ever heard that? Press 7 if y'all heard of lineage-based reparations. FBI, FBA talk about it. ADOS talk about it. All of them talk about lineage-based reparations. Family, I'm telling you, That's the trick bag right there. That's the trick bag. Because listen, I had to go into the cosmos and pull this one out. Be like, why they keep talking about lineage-based reparations? Why? No matter if they get along or not, they all talking about lineage reparations. And then a brother, shout out to Zenzuna. He sent me something today, and I did some research on it, and it opened a Pandora's box. You know, it opened a Pandora's box, and I'm gonna share that with you today. So let me see if I can share my window real quick. Hopefully y'all enjoying the night, and y'all will share this presentation. You know what I mean? Share it for me. You know what I mean? Here we go. Because we're going to learn tonight. Miss Betty is the principal up in here. That's right. Principal Miss Betty. So look, what I'm going to read right here is, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. But what I'm going to read right here, it says, and this is Freedmen Initiative. There you go. Zensuna in the building. He sent me something today, and it opens up a Pandora box. And I want to discuss this, because when it comes to reparation, it's something that we have to look at. It says, and I'm going to just drop down to what I got highlighted. It says, our position on reparation most certainly aligns with that espoused by the American Descendants of Slavery Advocacy Foundation, talking about ADOS, who is founded by Tone and Yvette. Accordingly, we will work collectively with ADOSAF for recognition of lineage-specific designation for descendants of American chattel slavery. And they keep using that word. And then they said, chattel slavery, and have no issue supporting both their proposed designation of American descendants of slavery and federally administrative reparation package for such citizens deemed eligible persons under the lineage designation. There may be a place for state and local reparations, but not as primary remedy measure. We also support the establishment of the Bureau of ADOS Affairs, not Freedmen, ADOS Affairs, headed by and formed by the descendants of American chattel slavery. So let me stop right there, family. Notice that they keep saying the lineage thing. And I think it's going to make a good point. When you look at the Freedmen group, if you will, right? Headed by Lord Abba. This Freedmen group right here. He says that we demand a broad reparations program that focuses on closing the American freedmen wealth gap. And so I think, and I could be wrong, but he's too ignorant for me to bring him on the show. I think it looks to me from studying what they put forth is that Lord Abba is pretty much using freedmen interchangeably with a lineage ideal. You know, because he say we're the freedmen, the sons of freedmen. He using the freedmen as an identity, as opposed to it being an institution that was set aside to distribute welfare to those who were unable to, pull it together after slavery for whatever reason. And slavery was a hard thing, and many people needed assistance. So, I mean, the Freedmen Bureau was right and exact, but it wasn't a reparations institution, if you will. And it didn't last that long anyway. So that's Lord Abba, right? Now, we know, as we mentioned, of ADOS. But then let's talk about Israel for a second. Now I'm using these as examples, right? So we can understand how it looks like to get reparations. I'm looking at these as examples. And Israel may not be the perfect example because many of their reparations came out of Germany, but it can be universally used I would assume, if put together properly the way that Israel did it. But it say, after the state of Israel was established in 1948, it became clear that the Jewish country would be authorized to represent the Jewish people. First of all, one thing that we see missing here with us is we're talking about another state about to engage another state, and let's say it in the most simplest term, one country is about to engage another country that committed some atrocities against their people. You understand what that? This is the difference between ADOS, Freedmen, and all these other ragtag groups that came together on the internet and start talking about reparations. I believe that they were sent. Nevertheless, whether the state of Israel was established by the help of imperial powers or not, that's not the argument. The argument is that you have one country that is engaging a country that committed some acts against its people, right? So it says in 1951, the Israeli authorities made a claim to four occupying powers regarding compensation and reimbursement based on the fact that Israel had absorbed and resettled 500,000 Holocaust survivors. Let's stop there. When you're dealing with the Israel situation with Germany, they have factual data. And I'm not saying that Americans, Africans descendants of slaves or American descendants of slaves don't have factual data. We just haven't seen it yet. We have seen the ramifications of slavery. We've seen people say you have to trace yourself back to 1860 or whatever they say, but no one shows they're tracing themselves back online. Has Moist Lip showed you his lineage? Has Yvette showed you her personal lineage? Lord Abba may have. I don't know, but has he? See, when you're dealing with fact, you're not dealing with emotion. When you're dealing with law, you're dealing with fact. All of these people that's talking about lineage-based reparations, why haven't they literally showed their personal lineage that dates back to the time in which they say that we deserve to be compensated if we meet that criteria? Why nobody never showed theirs? Why nobody show auntie name? Why nobody show grandma name? Why nobody show great grandma name? Anybody ever think about that? They're talking about lineage based, but they have yet to show their personal lineage. Family, y'all with me or did y'all go sleep? Are y'all with me? Are y'all with me or did y'all go sleep? Are y'all with me or did y'all go sleep? They're talking about lineage based, but not one person that's talking lineage based have showed their personal lineage. That's how you know it's a horse and pony show. That's how you know it's a horse and pony. I can show you mine. I can show you mine. In fact, I'm going to do it. Next week, after I finish up all of this stuff, I'm going to show you mine. I can do it. Easy. Light work. And I can show you with pictures until there are no more pictures. Light work. Easy. Easy. So the point that I'm making is that it's a horse and pony show. And those that are following this stuff, I don't think they're too lazy to do the research. It's all a scam. It's all a sham. It's a scam and a sham. They're not too lazy to do research they're not too lazy to make documentaries. They're not too lazy to do all these live streams. They're not too lazy, Miss Betty. It's a sham and a scam. It's a perpetual scam, and it's used to derail people, distract people, and detract people from what's really going on. This is political. That's why during the political season, it heats up every time. This thing went quiet 2 years ago. Remember? 2 years ago, there was a rally in D.C. To this year, there's a rally in D.C. This is political. This is political. Listen, I'm going to show you how political it is. The average person don't know how far behind we are because they're not paying attention. But anyway, let me carry on. I wasn't yelling at you either, Miss Betty. I got a little excited. Listen, you got people on the internet that's talking lineage-based reparations and they never even seen the person face. You got the guy Jason Black, they never even seen this person before. And he's telling people about reparations. You see how insane this is? Do you see how, you know what I mean? Do you see how insane this is? You have YouTubers that people don't even know if that's their real name. They don't even know if they are quote unquote black, talking about reparations. And they never open their camera, never seen their face. And people listen to them. Throw them all type of super chats, all types of stuff. And they're listening to them. But they talking about identity-based reparations. Fam, you can't make this up. Either some of my people are the dumbest people on earth, or I'm just not seeing things properly. Maybe I'm not seeing things properly. But I believe it's the alternative. We have some crazy people amongst our people, man. Listen, in Israel, in 1951, the Israeli authorities made a claim to the four occupying powers regarding compensation and reimbursement based on the fact that Israel had absorbed and resettled 500,000 Holocaust survivors. They calculated that since absorption had cost of $3,000 a person, they were owed $1.5 billion by Germany. They also figured that $6 billion worth of Jewish property had been pillaged by Nazi, but stressed that the Germans could never make up for what they did with any type of material recompense. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All this stuff is a scam. All of this stuff. All of it. Check it. Let me blow this up just a little bit. German, listen to this, family, because I want to give you an example of how reparations actually really work in real time. This stuff that you see on the internet, it's all a shake. Watch this. German parliament approved the agreement made between Israel and Germany. Who was the deal between? Israel and Germany. It wasn't between somebody going and set up a Freedmen's Bureau. It was between Israel and Germany. You follow me? The Israeli people had a representative, a statesman in a state. These included Germany's commitment to pay Israel $845 million in the form of goods. Of that sum, $110 million would be passed on to the claims conference. Listen to this. West Germany carried out its commitment in full. The money given to the claims conference, listen to this, helped Jewish communities and institutions in 39 countries reestablish themselves. You see how intricately this design was made to compensate those who suffered, and that those can actually be identified, that they are connected to the suffrage. They had a whole state, the state of Israel, and organizations. The claims conference helped to distribute the money. Since 1956, the original reparation agreement has been greatly expanded. And over the years, Jeremy has paid billions of dollars to the victims of the Holocaust. In 1990s, Jews began making claims for property stolen in Eastern Europe. You hear me? He said, GS question, what is 3-5 more signs for name, blood, legion? Brother, I don't know what you're talking about. 3-5 more signs for name, blood, legion. What are the other two? Block him. Block Junior Black, please. Block Junior Black. He's off topic. Block him, Crip. We don't have time for him. What are the other two? What is this? I'm teaching. How you going to come to the class and you teach? Block him. Let him make another account. He's a fool. Anyway, various groups also been investigating what happened to money deposited in Swiss banks by Jews outside of Switzerland who were later murdered in the Holocaust, and what happened to money deposited by various Nazis in Swiss bank. So you have government entities looking into. Now, the newest thing that you may not have heard of is that lineage-based reparations are unconstitutional. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. And you got to take your feelings out of it. You got to take your feelings out of it. Why is lineage-based reparations unconstitutional? Again, shout out to Zen Suna, who inspired me to go look deep, do a deep dive. And first of all, the 14th Amendment has been cited in several lawsuits filed by conservative groups challenging the constitutionality programs specifically for people of color. You know where I'm going with this, right? Some of these legal challenges successfully forced defendants to open their programs to people of all races, either voluntarily or through a court order. Stop there. Family, where the United States has gone to from a legal perspective is that everyone is equal. And you can't make a claim based on lineage, race, or identity alone. That you're going to have some meat. You're going to have some meat. And so what the chief justices are doing is they're using the 14th Amendment to say that, listen, the 14th Amendment says there's equal protection under the law. And it must be applied straight across the board. So this is what happened when, hold up. This is what happened when they just struck down, one second, when they just struck down the education with the, let me say the education handout, the Harvard rule. Whereas though they gotta let you in because of how you look. And the Supreme Court struck it down. But the catch to that is, the catch to it is very, very significant. It's very significant. The way that they use in the 14th Amendment is to say that you cannot use, that you cannot use race, lineage in any decision making per se. So it said the court ruled that both programs violate the Equal Protection Clause of the Constitution are therefore unlawful. The vote was 6-3. What are they talking about? Anybody know what they're talking about? What are they talking about? Affirmative action. Remember, they just changed the laws on affirmative action, like boom. This was put in place a long time ago, and they used the 14th Amendment. Now, so in order for that's why I say no time soon, because in order for reparations to really happen, you have to be more than just a lineage. You're going to have to literally identify the slaveholder and connect yourself to it. This is all a setup. The average person won't be able to do it. The average person, you would have to find the literal because other than that, all you can say is the effects of slavery has perpetuated the conditions that we find ourselves in, and it's a direct result of slavery. The only thing they can do about that is give you some welfare programs. But if the difference between the Jewish people and the Japanese, they actually could identify the actual connection and the literal harm. They could look at the person was still alive. Or there was one person away from the atrocity. See, the Europeans that govern this country, they already got the setup. The setup is to have you chasing your tail and you voting for them, but they already 20 steps ahead. They already know how they're going to fight your argument. They already know. And one of the ways that they do it, listen to this. I'm reading this article right here. Check this out. This article right here. Let me share this article with you. The 14th Amendment was also invoked in a recent lawsuit filed by conservative group Judicial Watch against the city of Elviston, Illinois. Remember the brother that was talking about Elviston, Illinois, over a reparations program for black residents meant to correct the past discriminatory housing practices. Under the program, black residents who lived in the city between 1919 and 1969, as well as their direct descendants, can apply for $25,000 in housing assistance for direct cash payments, CNN previously reported. But the lawsuit filed on behalf of 6 people who parents and grandparents live in Elviston during the outlined time period, but do not identify as black, argue that solely limiting cash payments to eligible black Americans violates equal protection clause of the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, because Elviston is discriminating against each member on the basis of a member's race. Tom Fitton, president of Judicial Watch, said the reparations program is a brazen violation of the 14th Amendment. So what I'm trying to tell you is that they are 20 steps ahead. Shout out to Timbo Slikes. He said, man, Morris, this article is exactly what I needed. Listen to me, family. The brother brought this up earlier. You feel what I'm saying? The brother had this, somebody give Cali Flea Dog. What are you talking about? Anyway, keep them in there. Keep the trolls in there. Keep the trolls in there. They need to learn too. It said, you get equal protection of the law under the Constitution, irrespective of race. Fitton told CNN in an interview earlier this month, there is no exceptions for denying people equal protection under the law. You see where they're going with this from a legal perspective. This is not an emotional thing. And that's one of the problems we have as a people. We're too emotional. And we're not literally dealing with our senses, common senses. Family, with that being said, family, tomorrow at 2 o'clock, family, we got Chub Rock, and I'll break your legs. I'm some more like a keg. You know what I mean? I'm not like a 40, I'm more like a keg. Jack the Ripper in the trick with him, the proof is in my liquor. Anybody, I'm gonna run you all around just like a big Buick. 2 o'clock tomorrow Eastern Standard Time. We gonna have the midday check-in with Chub Rock in the building. I hope I see you in the building, family. 2 o'clock. That's right. Listen, family, I want to give you a variety of ideas and concepts, and I got a lot going on, family. I told you what I want to do is I want to teach, I want to entertain, I want to refreshen you. I want to just make sure that Morris World TV be around for a long time because it's definitely needed. I don't go along with the status quo, but family, if you listen, family, if you like Morris World TV, don't be scared to donate some time because it actually gives me time to do this more and more and more. If you pay for cable, if you pay for your cell phone, it don't hurt if you are able to support this because you're not going to get this anywhere else, family. I put in a lot of work. I put in a lot of work and research, and I put my heart in it, and I do it for the love. Don't ever think I do this for $1. I do it for the love. But let me tell you something, the dollars do help because at the end of the day, me right here takes away from me working out there. And me working out there takes away from me right here. So it's good to balance it out if we're able to. And I appreciate all of your support. Whoever has supported in the past and whoever will support in the future, trust me, family, I will not let you down. With that being said, let's go back to the Holocaust survivors. When you're looking at those who are survivors of the Holocaust, right? They had to meet a criteria, not because they didn't get it because they were Jewish. So this is one of the compensations of survivors of the Holocaust, right? This is just one. It was many different instances where they would point out reason for compensation. And all the compensation didn't go straight to the state of Israel. Some of it went to those organizations that represent people in other countries. Then they made appeal to Israel in order to get people these finances. But here is some of the criteria. Holocaust survivor of kinder transport eligible to receive compensation. Holocaust survivors may be eligible for compensation for the Conference on Jewish Material Claims against Germany under the new agreement between the German government and the Claims Conference. What people don't know about reparations is that sustainable organizations that represents people could also make claims for reparations, but the burden to make the connection to the one who experienced the atrocity and to the atrocity is on that organization. See, what we see on the internet when it talks about us, all we see is people making complaints. All we see is people going viral, making these crazy, outlandish stuff about hairlines, about some weird old what people eat, and how they talk, and all types of weird stuff. But it don't work like that. That's good for YouTube. It's good for YouTube views. But in the real world, it don't work like that. And this is why I want to give you some examples of what it looked like in the real world. In the real world, family, it says to be eligible, you were under 21 years of age, unaccompanied by your parents, and took part in transport that was not organized by the German government in order to escape potentially threatening prosecution by German forces. And this is the criteria that had to be met. You was transported from somewhere within German, I can't stand them German words. I'm going to say a Rick Ross word. Or from territories that had been annexed or occupied at the time. And the transport took place between November 9th, see how specific it is? November 9th, 1938 and September 1st, 1939. or was approved by German authorities after November the 9th, 1938, but before September the 1st, 1939. Eligible claimants will receive one-time payment of $2,500 from the claims conference. Applications must be submitted by survivors, not heirs. You see, they're very specific. Press 7 if you're still with me. This is the difference between their claims and what we see on the internet. It's very specific. When listen, right? All right, cryptonomics. All right. Listen, do y'all understand that it's very specific? Anytime when you're looking at reparations, compensation, it's a legal matter. It's not an emotional matter. It's very specific. Now, the specifics of reparations for those claimed to be descendants of slaves, because that's the term they like to use, to make the claim, you're going to have to prove the claim. You don't have a government behind you. You don't have an organization. These organizations are 501c3s. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. Understand what I'm saying? It just don't add up. It doesn't fit the framework of a true fight for reparations. It just don't fit the framework. I mean, like, they can cry all they want. They got to block me, but they can cry all they want. Now, listen to this. When you're talking about those who are caping for Trump, when you're talking about affirmative action, the court ruled that both programs violate the Equal Protection Clause of the Constitution and therefore unlawful. The vote is 6-3. In the UNC case, University of North Carolina case, and 6-2 in the Harvard case, in which liberal Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson was recused. So everybody went in except for 2 people, 3 people, and Jackson was recused. But here is for the Trumpsters. The decision was hailed by prominent conservatives who say the Constitution should be colorblind. Former President Trump at the time calling it a great day for America. Liberals, however, condemned the ruling, saying affirmative action is a key tool for remedying historic race discrimination. So when people are caping for Trump and they say that they are for reparations, that is a contradiction of terms. Trumps don't even agree that you should have preference for education because of the atrocities of yesterday. More or less reparations. You understand what I'm saying? He don't even agree that you should even give you a deeper, more important consideration for education or anything that's based on lineage or race. That you got to get in there by the quality of your knowledge. Hey, and ain't nothing wrong with that, because that's the society that we live in. But hey, we do get discriminated against, and how do you address that? Well, Trump say that's you're on your own. You're on your own. I hope y'all still with me, because those that's caping for Trump, because he got a nice little speech going on, he got a little rebellious spirit going on, just remember, he doesn't support anything that you say that you stand for as it relates to a remedy or reparations around the idea that because of how we look, we have suffered atrocities. He don't agree with that. You follow me? He don't agree with that. Now, specifically, here's the overview of the ruling. Specifically, the court held that the UNC consideration of individual students' race violated the 14th Amendment Equal Protection Clause, which applies to the public colleges and universities. The court reaffirmed that the Title VI requires all college and university to receive federal financial assistance, public and private, to comply with the same requirements imposed by the Equal Protection Clause. And the court held that Harvard College consideration of individual student race violates those requirements as well. And here is Trump with John Roberts, who wrote majority of the opinion to scrap affirmative action. And one thing that you will see is the Masonic Brotherhood Press. You feel me? That's what you're going to see. Because it's deeper. Hold up. Let me show you real quick. Because y'all think I'm playing. I know y'all think I'm playing. All right, let me throw this up here real quick. I know y'all think I'm playing. Oh, my bad. I know y'all think I'm playing. I ain't playing. Man, this is all orchestrated, family. We behind the 8 ball and don't even know it. There you go. My bad. I just threw some handshakes up there real quick for the sake of time. But what I'm trying to tell you is that when you see in the middle of that, or touching the thumb and the first thumb, and there's a whole bunch of different handshakes there. A whole bunch of different ones. These are the brotherhoods. You know what I mean? They can look like they're arguing. They can look like they're fighting. They can look like whatever you want to think that they're doing. You know what I mean? But however, they are a brotherhood. They are a brotherhood. And they working for the common cause of their good and their sustained power. You don't have to understand it. You can buy the smile, you can buy the laugh, you can buy all the rhetoric that they send to us looking like us. It don't matter. This is war. This is intellectual war. This is not physical war no more. This is intellectual war. You know what I'm saying? Listen to this. It says, the decision has prompted much hand-wringing by progressives, still interested in judging people by the color of skin. These are the right-wingers now. Rather than the content of their character. But progressives should also understand that the court's students for fair admission cases effectively sound the death knell for race-based reparations movement. Listen, family. This is jurists talking. This is not regular YouTubers talking. This is people that's educated in constitutional law talking. Why isn't anybody that claim that they for reparations, why isn't any of them talking about the legal aspect of this as opposed to keep talking about the emotional aspect of reparations? The legal aspect is not creating the Freedmen's Bureau. The legal aspect is about, is this legally plausible in today's world with the Supreme Court, interpreting the 14th Amendment like they do. Are y'all still with me? Listen, listen, man, you sound like them. I know somebody gonna say that in the chat. No, I'm just giving you the real, family. If you want reparations, then you have to organize better. This ain't it. It ain't going to happen because this is why it's not going to happen. It's a legal matter. And you have too many odds against you when it comes to those who's on the bench making the decision. And Trump judges are the ones who he doesn't have to say anything for real, because from a legal perspective, those people that he appointed is going to say what need to be said. He don't have to say nothing. But what he will do, the same way Newsom will do in California, will say we can study reparations. We can study. And at the end of the study, they may put a safe park somewhere. So, you know what I mean, they won't get killed by gang violence. I mean, somebody said they should ask Trump about reparations then on TV. Trump already said he don't see it happening. He already answered that question. He already answered that. I should have saved the video, but I got it in writing. Trump said he doesn't see it happen. He don't expect it to happen. You know what I mean? And he said that on his first term. You follow me? But you got to understand, the horse and pony show is this research for reparations. The research for reparations make people think that reparations is coming. But listen, you forget that you got these European conservatives that is going to block it every step of the way, and most of our people are not even looking at it from the legal perspective. You understand what I'm saying? It's all a horse and pony show at the end of the day. It's all it is. It's all it is. This is an election season ploy. It's a hoax. It's a hoax. It's a hoax. And these people are acting. Let me say again, family, I know y'all might think I don't like Lord Abba. I really do like Brother Lord Abba. I think he crazy as a dingbat. I don't think Lord Abba is in on I don't think Lord Abba is in on the shenanigans per se. I mean, I don't believe that. I'm on the fence about Sugared Up. You know what I mean? I'm on the fence about Sugared Up. But everybody else, I believe they getting a check. Absolutely. Absolutely. I believe they getting a check. I believe they're getting a check to promote this division. I'm of the opinion that they're getting a check to actually push people away from the Democratic Party and into the Republican Party, so the Republican Party can meet the agenda that they got set for this country. You know what I'm saying? I truly believe that. Do they agree with the Republican Party? Probably not. But hey, they got bills to pay, I would imagine, and that's what they're moving. But hey, I just believe but people like Lord Abba, I think he has a king complex. He want to be a king. He want to be a scholar. He want to be somebody. He want to be recognized as being one who's intelligent. And I believe that at the end of the day, when people strive to be recognized as being intelligent, they actually showed the lack thereof. You know what I'm saying? Because people like Lord Abba, he just jump on the next thing smoking. I mean, anything. The next week he might be waving a rainbow flag, talking about, well, I'm with them because at least they be getting work done. I'm with them, you know what I mean? I'm with the Sugared Ups because at least they got a community. What you got? See, I'm with the Sugared Ups because at least we got our own flag. And if anybody violate our flag, I tell you what, I bet you we take them to court. I'm with the Sugared Ups now. Say this, he might be saying something like that. Not me, but he might be saying something like that because the Sugared Ups, they be getting things done. You know what I mean? Him and Marcel be running around, waving them flags, having them on their little Honda Accords. You know what I'm saying? Then they be with the Sugared Up crew. Yeah, because whoever winning, that's the gang that Abba goes through, seem like it. So yeah, he be with the Sugared Up soon. Anyway, with that being said, it says the 14th Amendment declares that no state should deny any person the equal protection of the law, early Supreme Court decisions understood that this meant that the law in the states shall be the same for the black as the white, that all person, whether colored or white, shall stand equal before the laws of the state. And this is the law that they're using. I mean, this is the law that they're using. I'm sorry, NACFA. I gotta do it tomorrow, bro. I gotta do it tomorrow night, brother. My schedule didn't permit me to do a StreamYard today. I gotta do it tomorrow. I wanted to get this off. I work off the energy, so I wanted to get this off real quick because it makes so much sense to get it out here and let the people know. But I will do it tomorrow night. This says in these scholarly articles that I've been reading today, government payments made based on someone's race, also known as reparations, fails this same common sense test. Reparation advocates publicly call for governments at local, state, and even federal level to make payments with taxpayer dollars only to black and African American individuals who descended from slaves. Those of all other races would be ineligible. This is why the lawmakers say that the 14th Amendment will be violated if they pay reparations solely based on race. The same way that they threw affirmative action down the gutter of history, that's where they're going with this. From a legal standpoint, don't get emotional on me like, why are you talking about this, Grand Sheik? I'm putting you on game. That if you're going to make a claim, connect yourself to a plantation, connect yourself to a slaveholder, connect yourself to my birth name was Johnson. You know what I'm saying? I would have to connect myself to a Johnson that held slaves. In my family, I can trace to that actual Johnson. Press 7, family. I'm tired. I'm the bearer of bad news. So they can pay everyone or no one. No. This is how it would have to go, Sensuna. Just like I said. Either the descendants of slaves would have to put a case before the Supreme Court or the World Court, but in order to prove it, remember this is a legal matter, you have to prove that you are connected to a slaveholder by the name of Johnson, myself, and you have to connect yourself to that family member that was actually enslaved by a Johnson, which would be almost virtually impossible. You understand what I'm saying? They know this is why they interpret the practice of to give it a trial run so you don't get reparations. They put the 14th Amendment through the test as it relates to affirmative action. It doesn't matter if you are citizens. It doesn't matter if you citizens or not. The burden of proof is your connection to a slaveholder. It doesn't matter if you're citizens. If you're a citizen, only thing that you're going to provided for a citizen is welfare. You understand what I'm saying? And they're cutting that out too because they're saying that the 14th Amendment, they're finding that in the 14th Amendment, you cannot receive preferential treatment just because of your race. Romello 18 said, how you supposed to do that? Family, that's why I say it's the trick bag. This is a distraction. We are supposed to be building for ourselves. We are supposed to be building. We ain't supposed to be trying to get somebody to pay something that we cannot legally establish that we're connected to. Very few will be able to do that. Very, very few. Very few. Very few. And as I said about the California thing, it would be more people in the South of the United States East Coast that would be more capable of making that connection than anybody else in the country. You know what I'm saying? And so the lineage-based conversation is put out there before us by design. It's put out there by design. You can't do it in a large and meaningful way. You can try, but you're always going to hit the legal burden. You're going to hit the legal burden. Remember, you still got racist Europeans. You still got conservative Europeans. And all conservatives are not racist. They're just conservatives. They believe in you pull yourself up by your bootstraps. That's what they believe. They believe that you got the same ability as them to go out and get it. They believe that you don't have a disadvantage. And not only do they believe that, they are in places of power to enforce that belief. They are in place. They are judges. They are lawyers. They are in places of power to enforce that belief. Even though the concept of pull yourself up by your bootstrap is an oxymoron, because if you pull yourself up by your bootstraps, you won't be able to walk, run, or do anything. You understand what I'm saying? It's an oxymoronic statement, but when they are in the positions of power, there's nothing you can do about the decision that is made in the interpretation of the Constitution and its amendments. It's just what it is. And Trump is the one that put these judges in position. Bush put the judge in position that wrote the demonstration to shoot down affirmative action. So when I'm telling you, and I'm saying it from the beginning, that this reparations thing is nothing but a horse and pony show. And it's put out here by the ops of the opposition. But the ops of the opposition look like you. They look just like you. You get caught up in an internet, listen, you get caught up in an internet emotional conversation about reparations, where everybody else who got reparations, they went straight to a legal resource and fought for their reparations. That's the difference. That's the difference. Where are the lawyers for the Freedmens? Where are the lawyers for the FBAs? Where are the lawyers for the ADOS besides Tone? Where are the lawyers? Why haven't they shown their lineage? Trace back to a Johnson. Trace back to a Brown. Trace back to a plantation. They're talking about lineage. Listen, this is the show and prove time now. If you say that you are descendants of slave, show us the direct descendants. We don't want to hear your rhetoric no more. And the people that follow these people should demand that they show their personal direct descendants. They should demand it. Because if you say you're fighting for reparations and you are the big mouth on the internet, then you should be the one to show that Aunt Mary was married to Uncle Joe, and Uncle Joe was this, that, and the third. Grandma Cecilia was married to Uncle Joe, and they traced themselves back here. You should be able to step by step. You shouldn't be able to be on the internet. I mean, you can do what you want. Hey, internet, let people say anything and twerk and do all that kind of stuff. But nevertheless, if you're going to be serious about something, FBA should tell the FBA leader, say, listen, buddy. Hey, bud, I was just wondering, bud, about these reparations. I know that we say that it's lineage based, and we delineating ourselves, but how about you show me your lineage? In fact, what's your real name? Did your mama name you that? How you gonna trace yourself back if you change your name? If you change your name, and why did you change your name? What was your name before you changed your name? Okay, let's forget that. Maybe you could show us your lineage. If you can show us your lineage, then maybe you can give us an example how we could trace ourselves back to the plantation. How about you do that? I was just thinking right there. We just want to get this reparation thing started. Please show me your lineage, player. Yeah, show me your lineage, and we'll be convinced. And that's the thing. Naps TV says she did a lineage test and she's dag near white. A DNA test is not a lineage test per se, not in this legal matter. In this legal matter, you have to trace yourself back to the slave owner in the plantation. And they said that. Those proponents of ADOS, Freedmen, FBA, they said they was making this stuff up as they went along, but they was getting the script from somebody. You have to be able to trace yourself back because people outside of Africans in America, they trying to get everything that's ours. So it's a lineage base. It's a lineage base. Okay, I gotcha. Show us your lineage, not your DNA. Not your DNA. Show us Grandma Susie went from her mama, great-grandma Susie Q. Great-grandmama, great, all the way back to the plantation. That's called lineage. And anybody saying that lineage-based reparations, they actually saying race-based. And if you're talking about race-based, it's unconstitutional. According to how they interpret it today. Not according to me. The only thing about that argument, not a citizen, I don't think that's going to work. The reason why that's not going to work, Crip, this is why. Let me read Crip comment real quick. The only reason that's not going to work is this is why. Because the way that they interpret citizen today is consistent with a citizen is. It says citizen is the argument that can be used not to pay as well. People would claim we was not citizens and therefore not granted any protection. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. However, but the same argument could be used to get them to. However, this is the thing about the citizen thing. Right after slavery, before the Reconstruction, you had slaves running for office. You feel what I'm saying? And so that would determine citizenship because only a citizen can run for office. So after slavery, now they're making a claim. They're making a claim not based on citizenship. They're making a claim based on a law, an act committed against their person, i.e., their lineage, their family member that they're connected to. So, I don't think the citizen argument would even come into play because, like I said, right after slavery, many of those from the South took over in political positions until the Reconstruction happened. And then they all got put out of office, killed, hung, and whatever the case may be. So but I know that even in this argument, Crip, that if all else fail, they'll throw this out there too. Let's keep it a whole stack. If all else fail, they really got the litmus test with the 14th Amendment argument about affirmative action. That was the litmus test. Let's see if it works. Let's see if it works. Let's see if it works. And the 14th Amendment worked for the North Carolina and Harvard, and it's going to work. And it's going to work. It's going to work. That you cannot use race. I mean, you have to have something concrete. They're not saying that race can't be a part of it. They saying that it can't be all of it. That's it. And if it can't be all of it from a legal perspective, what they're not saying is that the burden or criteria that must be met could never be met from a legal standpoint. And so if people are buying into this reparations thing, listen, man, meet the actors. That's all I gotta say. Meet the actors. You feel me? Meet the actors. Let's see what bro say. Watch this. This is so significant in these arguments, right? Meet the actors. Anyway. It says, talking about the 14th Amendment. That means that the government-funded reparations. That means that the government-funded reparations policy will use race to the detriment of some and the benefit of others. Whether that policy proposes paying $1.2 million per recipient, such as the plan California have been considering, or $25,000 per black resident that Evanston, Illinois agreed to pay last month. It is clear violation of Robert's rule and principle of ensuring colorblind laws and government programs. This is what the conservatives are putting out. You know what I'm saying? And they got it. They pushing it too, and they standing on it. It says reparation programs would do exactly that. If put to the test judicially, they should meet the same judicial fate as race-based colleges' missions policies. After all, as Robert observed, the Constitution Equal Protection Clause is universal in its application. Eliminating racial discrimination means eliminating it all. Chief Justice John Roberts, writing the majority, agreed that the admissions program lacked, listen to the words, sufficiently focused, measurable objects warranting the use of race. Unavoidably employ race in a negative manner, involve racial stereotyping, and lack of meaningful endpoints. And that's what is going to happen. That's what's going to happen, is that they're going to force people to make a direct connection. And Sensuna said, funny how the law works, isn't it? They bend the laws like the silk sword bending force, always in their European favor. No, what they do is they're thinking 20 steps ahead. While we're sitting up there emotionally talking about reparations, they're examining the law to prevent that from actually happening. So when we decide to push towards that direction, they already got all bases covered. We should be learning from history that many times when we go to strive for something, we always get a little bit of that something, but not the whole thing. So even in California, they say, okay, we'll give the Reparations Task Force $12 million to continue to study to create a Freedmen's Bureau. You know what I mean? They're so far ahead that they already got the example of the 14th Amendment to block you from reparations. But then you have people that are out in the forefront faking like they're so educated in the matter, when in fact they really are educated in the matter. They know you're not getting into reparations in the path in which they're taking. However, because of ego, because of payola, paychecks, and because of plain old attention-seeking behavior, they will continue to fake this reparation struggle. And at the end of the day, we once again will not be moving the meter, the bar, 1 inch. And that's just what it is. You understand what I'm saying? That's just what it is, man. It is what it is, family. I'ma see y'all tomorrow. We got Chubb Rocks in the building tomorrow. Yes, indeed, family. We got Chubb Rock in the building tomorrow, family. I'd like to see you in the building. Where you gonna be at tomorrow? 2 o'clock, family. 2 o'clock tomorrow. We got Chubb in the building. That's right, we're gonna go all the way up, family. Talk about this hip-hop thing. Also, we got Chubb coming to Baltimore soon. Yes, indeed. Sin sooner. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're going to examine more of that article. We're going to examine more of Kennedy. We're going to examine more of some of the things that I've studied today. Appreciate your family. Cryptonomics, we got one. Shut them down. Shout out to my man M. Nugent. He probably catch it on the wake out. Shout out to who else we got up in there? Nat TV. Where Takaya at? Who seen Takaya? What up, Azim Shabazz? Black Girls Read. Black Girls Read had to go to bed early. She tired. Romello. What's up, the original people? Timbo Slice. Where you at? Come on. Nakba. What up, Nita Kelly? Golden Child. What up, Brian? What's up, top 1, 2, 3? Top 1, 2, and 3. You know what it is. Yes, indeed. Hey, family. Miss Betty Teachers, did you go to bed yet? Jamal, where you at? Black boy.